does get married again,
No.
I'm throwing the bachelorette party.
Absolutely not. No, she's not.
Yes, I am.
No.
She really has no say.
No. No, because there's no telling what this child would have.
And that's the point. That is the point. It's going to be a damn good time. That's what, it ain't going to be boring. That's what it's not going to be.
I do, because at the end of the day, I desire like family. That's what I grew up in. That's been my experience. My grandparents were married for 60 plus years until my grandmother passed away. Like, that's what I know and what I prefer. And my kids thrive in that environment. And even though their dad and I didn't remain married, we still kept a family environment. Like, his parents have been married for almost 40 years, I think. So I do value it, and I do look forward to it, but only if it's the right person, to be perfectly honest. So I feel like the experience through reality TV helped me kind of come out of that greenness that I feel like I had and save me from myself. So we're going to take our time, but if I say I do, it's going to be until we die, because I ain't doing it no more. Because I listen, we jailhouse rocking it, because I just cannot do it again. I'm done. But I do hope that, you know, I get there with someone. We'll see.
You said that if there is a season 3 of Love and Marriage DC, you wouldn't show your love life.
I would not. And I say that out of respect for him. I know that he wouldn't want to do it, but also out of respect for what we have. We've been together for 9 months now. So this was someone I actually knew before I met Hips. And I wish that I had just went with it. I didn't go with it because he actually knew Quick very well.
Yeah.
And because he knew Quick, I was like,
Yeah.
we won't be going anywhere with this. So we just decided to be friends, and that enabled for us to build a friendship. And then I met Hips literally the day after I met him.
Oh, wow.
That's the crazy part. So the day after I met him, I met Hips. We decided to be friends because I found out that he was cool with Quick. And we just kept in touch. Shortly after we wrapped filming, we reconnected, and you know, the rest is history.
Here they are.
And here we are. But he's actually an amazing guy, and we are a much better fit than Hips and I ever were.
I really like him. I do.
Everybody likes him. But I think, and you tell me, I won't speak for you, but when you, it's like, okay, this
I feel like it makes sense. I do feel like you guys make sense.
This makes sense.
I do. I feel like he's, and I don't have anything against Yusha. I met Yusha. I thought Yusha was great. He presented really well to all of us. So from what I knew about him, he was cool. But her new guy, you know, it's like a grown man.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Peanut butter. We go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
It's great. But he's amazing. But he doesn't want to do reality TV. I would not want to put our relationship on display because I want to protect it. Like, we have something really, really special.
Yeah.
And it's good. Like, my family loves him. My kids think he's great. Like, vice versa. Like, I've met his family. Like, it's just good. So, no, I would not. That would be the one thing that I feel like out of the last 2 seasons you guys have had front row access to. And you wouldn't get it. And I know it's called Love and Marriage, so y'all can stay off my behind. If I say it's Love and Marriage, okay, fine. But
I mean, I get it, because Quick does not want to be on the show. Quick has never wanted to do this show.
I have a question. So Ashley, Miss Silva, I'm the interviewer now. Miss Silva, if you were to return season 3, or decide to return, and Mr. Silva opted not to, how would you navigate that?
I think it will be difficult to navigate it, because I think being in this space, what I've learned is there has to be some story behind why he does not want to return, other than he does not want to do this. And the honest to goodness truth is, he is too busy to do this. Like, Winter, you know, like, whenever y'all come over, Quick is in and out.
He is.
He's always way to work, or, you know, whatever. That's just what it is. So he doesn't want to sit around and talk about why my wife is not talking to your wife and go to dinner and all. Like, he does not care. He's literally said, you know, if it's a home scene, if I have an event, he's down. But that's as much as he can promise.
Quick was in like Flash.
Yeah, like
in and out like a flash.
So
like he was there and then he wasn't.
That would be my only dilemma, because I feel like some narrative would be made about why Quick is not around. And again, the narrative is because he don't want to do this, because he doesn't want to do this.
Yeah.
I think across the board, when Quick first, we hadn't watched Huntsville.
Okay.
So I knew it was about the couples, but obviously we were used to seeing like housewives type shows where the husbands are, they're in and out.
Correct.
We see them sometimes, we don't.
Yeah.
In these shows, we see that the men play more of a major part.
Yeah.
A lot of the men are fighting for camera time. A lot of men really want to be the HBIC of the show. I mean, we see it all around. What?
Oh, God.
You don't think that?
I mean, not the HBIC, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's given.
So,
And Quick doesn't want to do it. So, I mean, if they can make him a friend of the show or less than a friend of the show, he doesn't even need a title. He's Ashley's husband now. He does not want to do this.
Yeah.
I like the dynamics of the women again. Like I said, I think the men trying to fight for the spotlight is something I do not like.
it's tough. And if we just reflect back to season 1, you know this as well as I do. Social media was in an uproar when they felt like Jamie and Quick came for me. They don't typically like for men to be aggressive or come for women on these shows. I don't think it would be a bad thing. I think most of the men tend to be lower key anyway. It's only in...
No. I mean...
on Housewives.
On Housewives. On Housewives. I mean, if you look at Huntsville,
Yes. I like that concept, and I think it would be more interesting.
I do too, and I just feel like in reality TV in general, it's more a feminine, female energy based thing. When you do have men constantly being interjected into women's business, it's just show the men at home talking to their wives about it, because that's what happens in real life.
Yeah, that's
but
a
then we
reflection
move
of
on.
truth. Yeah, but then I feel like we would be able to focus more on what we kind of do behind closed doors, because we still have people that are clueless about what we do for a living.
Yeah, I'm clueless about what people do for a living on some of these shows.
Yeah, I don't know if people have jobs or not. I'm like, how do they eat? Is what I would like to know. How do they eat? People always ask me, Winter, how do you make your money? I work. I work. You don't know what anybody else does, but I work. I file a tax return every year.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know the future of this franchise.
Show. Yeah.
I'm being honest. That's my honest opinion.
I would, this is something else I did want us to talk about. Speaking of the future of the franchise, I think that a lot of people think Carlos is with us on the day-to-day, that he's heavily involved with us on the day-to-day, like he's here in DC, in Maryland with us.
We don't see him like that.
We don't really get to see him. I mean, we just don't. I saw him once while filming last season.
Was that the day we were all on set, right? Because I saw he came on set.
He was at confessionals one day.
Right.
Yeah. That's the only time. And even then it wasn't a long, conversation. It was in and out.
Yeah. No, we don't see him like that. That's not the case. So I don't know. This is the thing. If I just subtract season 1, because that was hell on wheels. And
season 2 is hell on wheels
season
for me.
It is. We swap places. But I feel like if it was more balanced, if it was, interestingly enough, focused more so on the women and what we really have going on, almost like the Bell Collective show in a sense, I believe this franchise would be killer. Because you really do have a good mix of personalities where you're going to get the drama just because the personalities are so different. I think that's why season 1 was so interesting, because our personalities were just like, okay, these two are never going to... We split the fans and their allegiance, but that's good reality TV. That's what it should do. And then I think if we hadn't known each other, because we just didn't know each other, but I say if you combine how we kind of bantered back and forth season 1 and knowing each other, like we knew each other's boundaries, and we just kind of had, oh my God, I think we would have a cult following by now.
Yeah.
And
I think that they're trying to focus so much on these relationships and then not focusing on the relationships, like, and when I say not focus on the relationships, like, we added in new people who you know nothing about their relationships.
No.
Nothing.
You don't. What I'm curious though is if there's been any edits since we
saw it, because the trailer
definitely looks different than what
it's a little different than what we saw.
But the trailer, the first half looked different, and we didn't see it. So I don't know. I don't know if there's been any changes, but it's unfortunate because there were so many good things that I feel like got eliminated. Like, for instance, one of the things they wiped out was my daughter's incident on camera, and that's why you guys even saw the ambulances to begin with, you know, at the beginning of season 2. So they wiped that out. We didn't get to see like her progression and how she got better. I mean, hey, her and her Kevin were all, you know, doing great, and then broke up, you know, and then got back together. Like these, I mean, but it's our real life.
But that's a part of, I think reality TV now follows a formula that they've been following for the past 15, 20 years. And I think it's time to shake things up and
Just
maybe let's stop following this formula and just follow full reality for a little bit, because now we see why certain things are certain ways. For instance, and like we said, we'll get into this more when we get into the episodes. When we get more into the episodes, but you guys have seen the trailer. There's a basketball game that happens. There's a lot that was said to production, to my husband, to cast members about why I didn't want certain people in certain places. My grandfather had died that week. My father was in town, who was a dickhead, like that was going through stuff with. Production knew all of this, but none of that is shown. So it's just like, like we don't have anything else going on in our lives, but sitting and talking about these people. It's just like, no, this ain't the week for it.
This ain't the time nor the place. That's how I felt season 1. Like, this ain't the time nor the place. I'm about to throw something at this vegan dinner in a second. When you're, but this is the thing.
Not those grass.
When you're, it was not grass. but that's something important to note. You're making a very important point. When we're dealing with real life and still having to go in and film these scenes, it's definitely going to impact responses.
It really is.
Seriously. People always ask me, do you feel like going through your divorce had anything to do? Yeah, it had a lot to do with it. Unfortunately, yes. So would I have been as combative in some situations? Maybe not. But you try going through a divorce with someone that's being accused of embezzling, and you let me know how you handle different life situations.
And so, because I did not know you at the time, and I've not been through a divorce, I remember towards the end of the season, I did apologize to you, which was, it was filmed.
She did.
It was filmed, but it was not aired.
That happened.
Because I was like, you were going through a lot.
I was. Real time.
And I did apologize. I was like, I didn't, like, at the moments while we're in the arguments, I'm not thinking, oh, this woman is really stressed out at home. I'm just like, blah, blah, blah. But when I thought about it, I was like, damn, you were going through a lot.
It was craziness. So going back to that game and you saying like, I, was going through a lot of life stuff, and y'all, that stuff, we don't get to turn off our real lives because we're filming these shows. Oftentimes we're having to juggle everything else we got going on in addition to filming 5, 6, 7 hours a day. I think at Jamie's retirement party, we were on set for 6, 7, it was a long day. I'm not even kidding. I don't even think we wrapped until like 11 o'clock that night.
It was very long.
I was asleep.
You were asleep.
I was tired.
Why were you asleep? Because it was long? I'm just wondering. I mean, I can answer for you because I know why you were asleep. You were bored to death. Bruno is also a cast member of Love and Marriage DC, okay? But Bru, you're making noise, you okay? You gotta, okay, I'm gonna pick him up. That's what he wants. Come here.
I know he was trying to like wear me down.
Yeah. You guys, Bruno actually has a confessional.
He does. He's in a suit and he's in a little bow tie and everything.
But they don't show it.
No. He wore a tux.
He did. You had your tux on, boo boo.
It was so cute. I think I passed you in the elevator that day.
Yeah, it's tuxedo on.
But yeah, so oh man.
So we'll get to that when we get to that scene. I think that
we
is
will
our,
definitely get to
our
that
season
when we get to-
finale.
There was a lot happening in that particular scene. This is where I think a lot well, I don't want to say a lot happened, but there was some major like shifts as a result of that particular scene. But child, I was over in the corner sleeping. I think I was kissing on hips every now and then.
You were. Hips were over there kissing.
What else was
And
there?
all they got me doing is rolling my eyes, and I can't wait. Like, but they have me rolling my eyes, like because someone was coming in. That's not why I was rolling my eyes, and I will tell you guys why I rolled my eyes when we get there.
Well, I know what I was doing. Sleep or, you know.
Do you feel like everyone on our show is who they appear to be on the show?
No, and I have stated this, and I was came for, I think, in scene and outside of it, because I was very honest about it. For instance, I said that Arena or Ray Ray was not the same person as Arena. I stand on that. I've had conversations with Jamie about it, and he was like, well, you don't know Arena. I was like, say what you will. But in my experience with Arena, Arena's actually very sweet. That
is
part
really
of what,
a sweet person.
What people see is true. She's a very sweet person. She's not argumentative or combative or all in your face. She's never been like that in any given time that I've seen her outside of the show. So when I saw Ray Ray, I'm like, who is this person? Because that ain't the person that I see on a normal basis. So when I made that statement, people made it seem like I was trying to come for her. I'm like, no, I'm telling you, like, I'm making a real statement.
You feel like it's played up for TV?
Well, what else could it really be other than...
I was just wondering.
No, I'm saying, but again, I feel like in these types of settings, some people do play, like seriously. Because I can go back to first season, and there were times where I'm like, well, do I need to give more here? Do I not need to give?
Yeah.
It can be very difficult at times to figure out whether you could just be yourself or do you need more? Do you not need more? I can remember being told, like, you know, you need to be a little bit more lively. So trying to juggle that sometimes.
That's so funny because I literally get told, like, actually, maybe you should
take it down.
be less Ashley.
So from that standpoint, it would not surprise me. Where I think it gets really tricky is once you get people that are all in with being themselves. Like, once I figured it out, it's just like, Winter, just be yourself.
Yeah.
At this point in the juncture, if you're sassy, you're sassy. If you want to pray, you want to, like, it's who I am. I can't change that. So I'm just going to be who I am. It became much easier for me. I don't feel like everyone's made that transition yet, but do I think in some cases people will play it up for the camera? Yes, I do. I've also said I don't have an issue with Jamie. I think Jamie's actually funny as heck to me. And we are very similar in personalities. So I've always been cool with him. Do I feel like he's always the same? It's just some things I feel like Jamie wouldn't do if we weren't in scene. Like, I don't feel like he would blatantly ask some questions that he asked if a camera wasn't pointing, because again,
No, I mean, I've literally, I'm always going to be the bad guy, but I've literally been in a scene where we could be like, yay, ha, ha, great.
and you're like, Winter.
And then it's like, walks off, come back to somebody completely different.
Right.
It's like,
So,
oh, okay.
to answer your question, do I feel that way? No, I don't feel like people are always 100% themselves. I think it's challenging when
I think the
you know
audience
someone to be simple.
really, I think for me, what I see in the comments and things, I think the audience gets it flipped. I think a lot of people think I play things up. I saw a lot of people saying Sharella did too much, was too much, and I'm like, Sharella will walk in this house right now and you're going to hear her before she turns on this block.
Oh yeah, that's
who she is. Like, that's who she is.
Yeah, that's not. I think a lot of people have been like, "Is that for real?" I'm like, Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything different.
Exactly.
So,
And I've known this woman for 14
Yeah, you
years,
can
and I've
speak to her longer than I have,
I've never
like,
seen a different side of it.
I've always known her to be that. So but again, it's tough when I feel like I can speak for I'm myself. 1,000% of the time. Let me tell you what, every time if I got in somebody's face or in somebody, I did it, I meant it, and I said it.
Yeah. And then we have these words that get thrown around, you know, social media especially. Social media has become a dictionary for people because it's words that people love to use in their vocabulary now that they have never used before, that they really don't know the
What words are
definition.
you referring to?
Words like, oh, this is a great one. Accountable. I have been told I am not accountable. Me, I am the person who will say, I said this. This is why I said this. This is what I was feeling when I said it. Accountability doesn't mean I have to apologize to you. Accountability doesn't mean I have to feel sorry for you. Like, that's not what accountability is. Accountability is, yes, I did it.
Yeah, it's just taking ownership.
And then today, the word delusion has been thrown around under the Love and Marriage DC hashtag. Delusion is someone who believes their own false narratives and lies. Again, not me, because I ain't lying about shit.
This is
I'm married. I live in my house. There's other things.
We have to be.
I don't borrow. Me and my husband don't share accessories or wigs. Nothing like that.
My thoughts about the whole accountability thing is that everyone has been, I think I've always said this, everyone has been guilty at some point or another. Why we act like we can only blame one person all the time is so crazy to me. And this is what I feel is like the Achilles heel of our cast. At some point, we are all going to clock in and let the chips fall where they may, or we're going to be timid and pick and choose, you know, when we're going to be offended and when we're not going to be offended. Then we just all need to just, you know, say, you know what, it's been fun, but it's time to just hang it up, because it's almost like the rules of engagement maneuver depending on how somebody feels from day to day.
As Candace said on Housewives recently, the line is always moving.
It's always,
it really is.
It's too much, and it's difficult because it really makes it hard for us to ever find a way to move forward, because I don't know what I'm getting.
I don't know who I'm showing up.
I don't know. You got to tell me what I'm getting. I don't know what I'm getting. And I'll actually point out something. There was a scene between Arena and I at the beginning of season 2 when we went to that little speakeasy place where we brought up the situation where I was accused of talking about Jason. And I was like, I didn't talk about Jason. Someone
brought you information.
Correct.
And you said it back. Correct. And then she ended up doing the same thing to me at reunion and thought it was okay. Okay. Continue.
Okay. So, in that scene, I felt like I had explained to her, I would never talk. First of all, Jason is my boo. Let me just start there. I would never. Not as a person who actually values another person, not as a person who has an aunt who is blonde. People don't know that. Not as a person who has children. I'm a mom. I would never do anything like that. Talk about your son. And people
going everywhere, and you drive me crazy right
People literally were accusing me of talking about her son. I said, no, I came to you in private, mom, to let you know in private what was brought to me. You took it and made it public, which didn't have to be that way. For whatever reason, that was the decision that she made. I knew we were going to have to talk about it in scene, because that if it gets brought out on the blogs, we got to address it. Wow. So I knew we were going to address it. But we actually came to a truce in that conversation. I promise you, there was a cut. We go to our corners. We come back. She's yelling and screaming in my face. And I'm like, what? I'm sorry, like, what just happened?
Yeah.
That is the type of stuff and we moved past it. I'm not saying that we're in that space now, so don't y'all go back and lie. I'm giving that as an example that when that is the engagement, when in my mind I'm thinking we just had closure and it's flipped very quickly, I don't know what to believe. So are we good or are we not? Tell me what
and then
it is.
I feel the exact opposite. I think that for me, what happened this season is there were things that were happening off camera that people were, acting certain ways to me, not speaking to me, talking shit about me. Their best friends were coming to me and telling me that they were saying certain things about me. So when I addressed it on camera, all of a sudden it's like, what are you talking about? Oh my God, I have no idea what you're talking about. So it's like,
yeah.
I think that people, especially now, we have to get back to the reality of reality television, and kind of just stand in some truth of what it is.
Yeah.
So every Saturday night,
easier.
Yeah, every Saturday night, that is what we plan to do.
Yes.
Winter and I, and then hopefully we'll have Sherelle on, and Alicia can come on, and Carmen can come on too.
We'll bring some special guests
to
help us break down these episodes, because again,
other people that were there and they have their opinions on what happened.
Well, let's just be clear. There are other people who were involved heavily that, because of how the show is edited, will not get an opportunity to speak their piece.
Very true.
Which I think is only fair. That's at least how I feel about it. So I hope that they can come on and just, recap with us, not necessarily to stir up drama, but to speak their truth.
Yeah.
Because again,
a lot of times the viewers just take whatever they see in that 45 edited
y'all swear
version.
it down. That's really what happened, minute for minute, second for second. And no, that is literally hours of condensed footage that you guys get access to. And a lot of times there's so much you guys don't see that have played into certain things. I mean, it's crazy what they do with editing, but this is why we're here.
This is why we're
Fire
here.
and ice
Fire
and everything
and
else.
ice. I'm just happy that we got here, child.
I am too. I told you I like you too.
I am too.
And just Smooth comes and gives me a hug every time
What's his name?
Is it Smooth?
Smooth?
That's what I call him.
It's Smooth. SMOO.
I'll call him Smooth.
But it's so funny. You such a fucking church old lady. All my mom's old coworkers, that's what they call him. Yes.
I call him Smooth.
It's been his nickname since he's a baby, and that's what all of them have always called him.
That's what it sounds like.
SMOO.
So Smooth.
Smooth. Because it's so long. It was Smoothie. It was Smooth when he was a baby.
He gives me a hug. He's so sweet.
He's
doesn't be like
boy.
Hot Miss Winter.
That's my baby.
Yeah. Ashton was like you. She gave me the side eye for a long time.
Oh, Ashton was not feeling you.
No, she was
Let
not
me say, I just
having
want to give you guys a funny story. When season 1 happened, I have Ashton's friends over a lot. Like, those are my girls. One day they were upstairs playing, and they were like, let's play Love and Marriage DC. And one of them was like, I'm going to be Winter. And Ashton was me. And I was like, wait. I'm sorry, what? Not y'all playing Love and Marriage DC. I was like,
that's hilarious.
It
took her a minute. We're good now, but
you
she
guys
was
are fine now. Ashton is a ride or die for her mama, child.
She was like, I'm not sure about this. I think she was so confused when I was over here.
She was. Like, I think the first time I had to have a conversation with them, like, Winter's coming over. We're trying to work on things. Like, Ashton was like, quick. Like, she coming where? To my house? No, she not.
You sure? She was like,
and now she's fine when Winter comes over.
Yeah, we're good.
So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you're tuning into us every Saturday, right after Love and Marriage DC 2B. This is still the continuation of season 2, which I think a lot of people are confused on.
Because it was announced as season 3. And while you're at it, make sure you go follow us on our platforms. Make sure you buy our books, Do That Shit, and The Single Housewife Affirmation Cookbook.
Is it out yet?
It is now available for pre-order. And then you need to subscribe to our YouTube channels because, you just want to keep up with what's going on.
Yes. So, bye guys.
Bye.